been wondering about this idea that I hear about and read about a lot, which is that narcissists are empty shells, that they do not have a personality, and the other claim is that they do not like themselves, that the narcissist is insecure and that they actually have low self-esteem. I don't know, I'm just not convinced. The way I see it is that the narcissist does have a personality. And my definition of a personality, it's someone's preferences. We can observe someone's actions, and observable actions are the manifestation of subjective preferences. Therefore, when we track the narcissist's actions, we then are able to identify their preferences. Therefore, I am making the argument that a narcissist does have a personality. It just happens to be, in my opinion, a nasty personality, a vile personality, a liar face personality. I can come up with a lot of adjectives to describe a narcissistic personality. But I want to make the argument that they do, that everyone has a personality. I think the difference is that a lot of narcissists and sociopaths and toxic manipulators don't have a problem putting their personality on the back burner while they pretend to be someone else, something else. I think that's the difference. I think when you take the narcissist and you put them in a room somewhere alone with a lot of different choices, that they do have likes and dislikes. They have subjective preferences that can be tracked through their actions. So this argument that I have heard about and read about, that narcissists are empty shells and that they don't have a personality and all they do is absorb everyone else's personality, I'm not buying it. There's a disconnect there for me. What I do think is happening is that the narcissist, for whatever reason, might not want to show their true personality. What I think does happen a lot is that a narcissist, for whatever reason, they choose not to disclose or show their true personality for whatever reason, because if they do, they're not going to be able to get what they want out of people. Who knows? There are lots of reasons. I just think that the reason that we see a narcissist switch personalities around, they do that as a strategy to get what they want. I'm guessing the reason that when we hang out with a narcissist, we see them transition into different personas, because it's part of their con. It's part of the strategy that they use to get what they want out of people. But I think there are times when, I'm sure, if you have been around a narcissist for an extended period of time, you've seen their true personality come out. And when it does come out, they're not suffering from low self-esteem. At least that's not what I've witnessed. In fact, not only do I think narcissists do in fact have a very strong identity, a very strong personality, but I am also going to make the argument that they don't have a problem with who they are. They like who they are. They're down with it. They're groovy. That's why I'm guessing so many narcissists don't self-identify as narcissists. Hey, it's just a guess. I just don't see it. The times that I have seen the narcissist in the past curl up and cry and I just am like, I'm a bad person and I blah blah blah. It was an act. That was not genuine. That was just another facade. It was part of the manipulation to get what they wanted, taking on that role. I'm wondering if that's why so many people seem to label narcissists as not having a personality, being an empty shell, and having low self-esteem and hating themselves in secret. And maybe it's because it's so hard for people to understand why someone would switch personalities and switch roles. It's because we're not thinking that way. This is my take on it. And I also wonder if the reason so many former targets of abuse like to grab on to this idea that narcissists truly hate themselves and that narcissists are empty and narcissists have low self-esteem. Well, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, it's comforting to think that as a target, to think, oh, my abuser is an empty shell. They're actually sitting at home crying and miserable, and they're sitting at home with low self-esteem. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, it sounds good. I'd like to think that about the people who have jerked me around and lied to me and conned me. But I think the reality is that they do have a personality. They have an identity, and they like that identity. They like their personality. And I think that is harder to accept. And maybe that's why targets are really keen about this idea that narcissists have low self-esteem and they don't like themselves and they're an empty shell.
Identity is the aggregation of a person's experiences, beliefs, personality, looks, and expressions. The process of identity can be creative or destructive. Personality is a mixture of behavior, emotion, motivation, and thought patterns that define an individual. Humanistic theory argues that an individual's subjective free will is the most important determinant of behavior. Humanistic psychologists such as Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers, believed that people strive to become self-actualized. The word personality originates from the Latin word persona, which means mask. The formal study of personality began around 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece with Hippocrates. Hippocrates argued that personality traits and human behaviors are based on 4 basic temperaments: irritated, depressed, relaxed, and playful. The strategic manipulator is a person who begins to regard all senses of identity merely as role-playing exercises, and who gradually becomes alienated from his or her social self. The pastiche personality abandons all aspirations toward a true or essential identity, instead viewing social interactions as opportunities to play out and hence become the roles they play. Finally, the relational self is a perspective by which persons abandon all sense of exclusive self and view all sense of identity in terms of social engagement with others.
I'm open and honest all of the time. And when I meet a new person, I just tell them everything there is to know about me. I tell them about losing my job, crashing my car, my breakups. I tell them about all of my bad habits right away because I'm an open person and I don't have secrets. I don't have anything to hide. I'm just one big open book. And I'm so comfortable with myself that I don't have a problem oversharing when I meet new people. Newsflash. People who overshare, well, this does not mean that they are a good person right off the bat. Openness in itself does not equal good. It does not equal virtuous at all. In fact, it can be the opposite. Oversharing can become an emotional burden on others. And it can be a red flag that this person is in an unhealthy space. Maybe they're low on self-knowledge, low on empathy, because people who are sucking up all of the attention in the room and never letting others have the spotlight or letting others have a chance to speak or share, well, that's a red flag, in my opinion. It's something to look out for. subject that is worth talking about and exploring. And I am very curious to hear your thoughts about this and what your experiences were. As always, stay strong and get toxic people out of your life. Bye.